Well, here we are again. It is Drinks with Dee Dee.
And John.
Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is, all right. We salute you. We're so delighted that you're here today. We are so glad that this is our third week in a row that we're actually doing this.
In studio.
Yes, I know, right? Because, we travel so much that it's been difficult. We're trying to figure out maybe a way to do some sort of a green screen or something inside the new RV. You took my notes.
I'm making new ones. It's
okay.
I promise you'll like it.
All right. So inside the new RV, we're trying to think about how to, set up some cameras and do some things so we can go all the way. Oh, terrific.
Yeah.
We can go all the way back here and have Tony the Tiger magically weave his magic. Oh, sweet Tony the Tiger.
Say it again, Tony.
Hey!
Sounds just like it.
Quiz. All right. The guy that did They're Great. What song did he sing that you all know? What character did his voice play on one of my favorite television show as a kid was an Irwin Allen show? Oh, no, I hear you. You can't Google it. You can't Google it. Okay, all right.
He's the boss. He's kind of allowed.
I guess you
to
can do
Google
whatever
it.
you want. But I'll go ahead and I'll tell you. Here, you'll know right as soon as I say this. You're a mean one. Mr. Grinch. Same gentleman who did They're Great.
Cool.
Sang that song. And you only need one word. But for people over 40, you'll remember the voice as soon as I say this. Danger, danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yep, same gentleman, same
robot.
voice. A lot of people get confused when they think about the Grinch that stole Christmas. They think that Boris Karloff sang the song. Boris Karloff did not sing the song. Boris Karloff was the voice, the talking voice of the Grinch. Okay, so that's who that was. Anyway, why do I know these things? Because when I grew up, television was the very best. And I think that Dukes of Hazzard actually carried that torch for a while. And as soon as we got into, in my opinion, away from three networks, then things kind of fell apart. Because all of a sudden they had to come up with so much content, and you would think that would make everything. Well, no, actually, you would think that would make everything kind of decline because all of a sudden they needed 100 shows an hour rather than just 3. Wow, that's really truly the
I
math.
get tickled with young people, really young people, when you tell them, there used to only be 3 channels, and they're like, what? and like you had to get up and change the channel, and they don't understand any of that because now most kids just use their phone. They don't even have a television.
They use their phone, or they just it's all on
They stream
demand,
everything.
And I understand that's convenient, but the whole on-demand thing kind of takes away the anticipation of everything. I'm at a car show, I think it was, or one of the Comic-Cons in the last couple of years. There was a family that bought the box set of Dukes of Hazzard, and they bought the box set of Smallville. And they introduced their young children, to the Dukes of Hazzard first and then Smallville later, but they only showed them one episode at a time.
On Friday night?
In order on Friday night.
That's great.
Friday night at 8 o'clock.
Because they loved that experience as a kid. So
They did.
wanted their kids to have the
They
same.
wanted to have the anticipation of seeing the show like they saw it, like their parents saw it. And then they did the same thing after they finished Dukes of Hazzard. They did the same thing with Smallville on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, and I think that's pretty great. Also, when you do that, I'm a big advocate for going out and buying the DVD set because when we started Dukes, there were an hour-long show had 12 minutes of commercials. Wait a minute. I think an hour-long show when we first started had 8 minutes of commercials. Then as we got a little further down the road, a couple of years in, we had 12 minutes of commercials. So the show itself had to be 4 minutes shorter. The script had to be shorter. And then as we moved on toward the very end of the show, I think it got up to 14 minutes of commercials. So the show had to be, this is a weird thing, think about this, the show had to be shorter now than it was, but then when it went into syndication, it was still 14 minutes of commercials, but the shows were 52 minutes long. So sometimes they would go in and kind of arbitrarily cut things out. But I noticed in shows like Petticoat Junction and maybe I Dream of Jeannie, these were half-hour shows. But sometimes what they would do is they would go in and they would speed it up just a little bit. And the executives, at wherever they were, CBS, NBC, ABC, convinced themselves that nobody would notice that people were talking a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they notice.
Really? Really? Now, maybe AI can fix that now. I don't know. I don't like AI. What do you think of AI?
I think it's scary. I don't want anything to do with that. I keep thinking about Sarah Connor and the Terminator, and that it's going to take over. And in fact, I think I just saw today that today is the date when that movie, Whenever the World Ends. Well, I'm afraid to say it out loud. But it was like August 29th, 19, whenever it was. An elected official.
Well, if it was 19, whatever it was, we already skipped over that.
Yeah, we're okay. But I think it's terrifying. I don't like it. I mean, it may take us back to the Stone Age automatically if it blows everything up. But,
open the pod doors, Hal.
And a lot of very smart people say that. They said this is out of control. It is not good. You all don't understand. And I believe them.
Well, and they're using it for politics, which is really crazy. So you've got these things.
It's you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's you. They even use.
You're not sorry.
I am.
She's not.
I'm trying to be good and not interrupt.
Don't be good.
See, he did it.
Don't be good.
Okay.
We're having this weird little discussion because there's some people on the Facebook and some people are making comments like, "Why does she interrupt him?" or "Why does he interrupt her?" Well, have you ever watched Burns and Allen? You ever watch great comedy? You ever watch the Phil Harris show? I mean, my gosh, that's what comedy is about. If Ricky waited for Lucy to stop talking, he would still be waiting.
That is a very good point.
So come on.
All right, well, then I'll interrupt
you. It's comedy.
Then I'll interrupt you.
Please do.
The AI that I hate is whenever they put your head on another body or whatever it is, and they use your voice to scam people online. I mean, there have been so many people that thought that John was sending them a message, and then they ask for money. My goodness, it's terrible. They do this to a lot of celebrities, but we know they do it to you every single day.
Happens every day, and I spend a bunch of time on Facebook trying to get rid of the scammers. And now what the scammers are doing is they're saying, "Hey, we just talked to John. We've been working for John for years. He doesn't have time to do this,
listen to anybody
but he wants you to be aware of all these scammers. So don't click anything but right here."
It's so terrible.
Give me a break.
And honey,
Give me an ever-loving break.
You mentioned I Dream of Jeannie a minute ago, and I loved her. Or love her. She's still around.
She's still around. Barbara Eden. She's a wonderful, wonderful person.
But I was want to mention the Larry Hagman thing about him thanking you for saving Dallas. I think that's such a fascinating, because I love Dallas. I love J.R. Ewing, Bobby Ewing, I love that show. So, but when Larry Hagman, if you have Larry Hagman, you have J.R. Ewing saying, thanks because you saved me. You saved the show.
Well, we were doing, I think it was Night of 100 Stars, and Larry was there. The cast of Dallas was there. The cast of Dukes were there. The Hulk, a bunch of great shows. Again, back in a 3-network world.
You just ran into Lou recently. We did. What a great guy.
Lou has become a great friend, which is so wonderful, because just before Dukes of Hazzard started for me in '78, I watched the Hulk. Big Bill Bixby fan. I never met Bill, and I'm sorry I never met Bill, because I loved him from My Favorite Martian to The Courtship of Eddie's Father to The Magician.
Let me tell you about my best friend.
But what in the world? Oh, so Larry came up. And because Dallas was almost, look at that.
That's great.
Dallas was almost canceled when they brought in, I don't remember what they canceled to bring Dukes of Hazzard in. Dukes of Hazzard was a mid-season replacement in January of 1979. Because usually new shows would start in the fall. So Dukes started January of 1979. Something had to go, but whatever it was not adequately serving the show after it, which was Dallas. But as soon as Dukes of Hazzard happened, CBS had the Hulk, Dukes of Hazzard, and Dallas. And they never lost a Friday night the whole time that lineup was there. And Larry Hagman himself came up to me and said, I want to thank you and your castmates for saving my career.
Pretty
Pretty great. Because big I Dream of Jeannie fan, Love that show. So I love Larry, and that was a thrill for me. So people ask me, what is my favorite Duke? What is your favorite Dukes of Hazzard episode?
I'm going to get in trouble again because I've only seen 3.
Of the 3 you've seen.
I thought the first one was cute, with the things.
With the slot machines.
Yeah, the slot machines.
I
thought you were so cute. Oh, and then I saw part of one whenever you and Duke, on the show, jumped on top of the car. On top of the car. And I saw you both do it, and I'm like, I don't know why. It looked real, though. I know it wasn't.
Was it from a helicopter or from a plane?
No, you got out of the car, because you couldn't.
Out the window.
You had to crawl out the window and then jump up on top of the car. And Tom was just like, oh, God, here we go again. Because you had people that you were trying to punch in the front seat or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you just got to climb out of the car to get to the other side.
And then there was a guy who passed out or something, and you had to let go and then help him out. I don't know. But they both jumped on top of the roof. Oh, that was pretty cool.
It was great. Yep, that was great.
But I do like the show. I want to see more episodes because, of course, John is now writing kind of the new Dukes of Hazzard.
It's not the Dukes of Hazzard.
I know.
Warner Brothers, they're right over there.
I know.
No, it's a show about a family in rural Kentucky who used to be no, they're in Perry County, Kentucky. And they used to be in the coal mining business, but that kind of went away. And they used to be in the moonshine business, but that went away. So they are trying to get by, like a lot of people there, families, communities helping each other out. Their last name is Earl, and the county they live in is Perry. And the county seat of Perry County just happens to be
Hazzard.
Exactly. 1Z.
Which is great.
1Z.
The Real Hazzard.
The Real Hazzard.
So Warner Brothers, too bad. Sorry about your luck. Sorry, not sorry. You're going to do a show. In The Real Hazard, you have the fictional Hazard. Now we have the Real Hazard.
That was rather cavalier.
And you are the patriarch of the family.
I'm the patriarch, but it's funny. So there's Dixie, the female cousin who runs a body shop, and she's the best body woman. Mm-hmm. Body.
We know where you're going.
Body girl.
This would be a beautiful woman.
She's beautiful. She's a tomboy. She's a tomboy. And her two cousins at the moment, that is Dobro and Brody. Okay, Dobro and Brody. So these folks are, it's now, but we don't use cell phones and we don't use things because we just don't want to. And besides, there are places in the mountains of Kentucky where cell phones just don't work, but CBs always work. So it's kind of like, there are, you can try to play something on your phone and it won't work. You can try to put a DVD or a CD in, and it won't work. But I tell you what, my mother's 45s and my mother's 78s will still play. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of that in it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of fun. I'm currently writing it right now. The first one is going to be reminiscent of a movie that I did called Poker Run, which was the sequel to Stand on It.
So you have slot machines again?
No, not going to have
gambling?
That's too close. Oh, there'll be some gambling, but it's only gambling if you're not good at it. Oh, so what I was saying, so the kids are more contemporary, not like that movie that they did, but the kids are more contemporary of thought. And I'm growing my beard back for it, a little bit, because I'm Uncle Jackson. My nickname is Stonewall because I was a dirt track racer, and one night there was a rookie that missed coming into turn 2, and he spun out in front of me, and in order to miss him, I had to turn, and I went right over the stone wall. So since then, my name has been Stonewall, and my car's name is General Jackson. So all of this, but I am a perpetual child in this. So it's not like Uncle Jesse. Now, boys. No, it's rather me spinning out and throwing rocks and dirt everywhere, and the two younger cousins saying,
they're shaking their head.
If we're such losers, how come? What's up with that?
Why are you allowed to do it?
What is up with that? How come we can't do that? And
it's a benevolent.
Well, but
dictatorship.
That's right. But when somebody says to Uncle Stonewall, when they say something to him, I grew up watching you race. He says, "Don't." And I say this. How many times you heard me say this? Don't blame me for growing up. I never did.
Never did.
All we have to do is get older. Nobody said anything about growing up. So I'm playing Uncle Jackson very similar to what you would imagine Bo Duke would be like at 60. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to shoot it, in fact, on location. We're not going to shoot it out here. We are out here, meaning
Brothers.
Hollywood.
No.
Stop saying that.
What? They're right there. I can't
You're
help
putting it
it.
like a worm on a hook.
If you open the window, I see the big W.
So this is
And
inspired by my experience, not only on the Dukes of Hazzard and in other Southern horsepower comedy movies and television shows. I mean, I did a show called Are You Faster Than a Redneck? Come on. But it's also inspired by my time in Hazard, Kentucky, in Perry County, Kentucky, and actually racing dirt track myself. So there's enough degrees of separation that I believe that everything will be fine with regard to that. But I have tried to purchase the Dukes of Hazzard from Warner Brothers for quite some time. I mean, decades. And it's always been fascinating to me because it's...
they won't play it, but they won't.
Well, they won't play it. I had to buy it yesterday. I had to buy the first season, and it's 13 episodes. I bought the first season, and it's always been too controversial. Not always, but lately it's been too controversial for them to show, and yet too valuable for them to sell. So I don't get it. So we're going to do it. I don't know. Casting-wise, people have been asking about casting. I'm not sure, but
I think it'd be good.
A great friend said, you should. We had John Reap in Poker Run, and John is the guy that said, that thing got a Hemi in it. And I think he would be wonderful. So I'm going to get in touch with John and see if he's up for it. Tyrus was in, Tyrus from Fox was in Stand On It. And he'd be great, but, he's still on Fox, so it's hard schedule-wise to make that work.
But, honey, I think the fans are so wonderful. They're so smart. And I think we just kind of put it out there. What do you think about casting? Who do you think would be good? And they'll come up with wonderful suggestions.
Well, and stories,
we
too.
We can throw it out there. Yeah,
we're going to ask you, we're going to say, hey, and in fact, when this podcast gets posted, we love for you to make suggestions about what you'd like us to talk about. But also, since now the cat's out of the bag and running all around the room, love to know what, throw some ideas out about what an episode of The Earls of Perry should be. Make it like a pitch line. It has to be short, like in the old TV guide, all right? I don't want to open it up and have it be, and then they drove down the street and they took a right and then they took a left. No, I just want you to say something like, there was an episode of Dukes where the boys got a hold of a car and there was a Bugs Bunny underneath the dashboard full of diamonds. Okay. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Or did it fall out of the tree?
Did that really happen?
It did on the show. I don't remember if it fell out of the tree or not. But, of course, it was Bugs Bunny because it was Warner Brothers. It was great.
Right. Well, the show was wonderful. I've not seen that many episodes.
All 3 episodes that she saw, she loved.
I did. I loved every minute. It's really well written, and it's just good. Just really good.
There's a certain recipe to Dukes, but there's also a certain recipe to what I keep calling Southern horsepower comedy. I think if you watch Stand On It, I think you'll find that it's every bit as much fun and moves like Smokey and the Bandit. It actually might move a little faster than Smokey and the Bandit. Yes, I do a lot of green screen because I love green screen. People get on my butt sometimes about, well, you sure use a lot of green screen. Well, have you seen any of the DC movies?
Yeah, that's
none
all
of that. Have you seen Game of Thrones? None of that exists anywhere. So I'm not in favor for you cinematic geniuses out there. I'm not somebody that likes to create worlds that don't exist with green screen. I would rather create worlds that do as a matter of convenience. Because think about this. You're driving down the road. I know a lot of people who make movies are watching this because some of you are the jokers that bitch at me about my green screen. But you're driving down the road and somebody is chasing you and you go by some store. Okay, well, if they're chasing you and they're 100 feet behind you, 100 yards behind you, when they go by that store, you should see it out the window. That's a pain. That's so hard to actually really do. And that's why car movies cost so much money, because you've got a car and a trailer and you're out there and it's just a pain. And then when you edit it together, you think, my God, I really like the way he read that line, but there's no McDonald's over there. What am I going to do? When you use green screen, you can put anybody anywhere you want. You can make all of that stuff work perfectly. And I'm just in favor of it.
And you're really good at it.
Well, I'm okay
so
at it.
creative.
I'm okay at it. I mean, there are people who really are unbelievable. Again, you know, the DC comics and all that stuff, Deadpool, all those movies.
But they get like a
Beetlejuice. You know, don't tell me there's no green screen in Beetlejuice.
They spend like $1 gazillion dollars on that. I mean, you see.
Well, they spend more on every
movie.
shot than I'll spend on the whole damn movie. But guess what? It's my money, so you know you spend your money different than you spend somebody else's money.
What you know what's fun too, honey, is because in Hazard, the people are going to love it. You know, you get the real deal. I mean, of course, you want to cast locals and folks that are from the
Absolutely.
area, and that'll be wonderful. It'll be instead of being at a studio over here. I won't say the name of the studio again. It will be in Hazard. It'll be in Perry County.
It will, and we'll use those people. We'll keep, as long as we're doing the show, we'll use those people. You know, there were a couple people in the beginning episodes of Dukes that were promised that, and that promise was not kept. In fact, the one that bugs me the most is the man who played Ace Parker in Repo Men was actually Jerry Rushing, who he and his cousin, I think his cousin's name was Tom, but he and his cousin Tom was who the Dukes of Hazzard was inspired by.
Well, invite him over.
No, he's long gone.
Well,
he's long gone. But Ace Parker was supposed to be in more episodes, and shortly after that, we moved from Georgia. After the 5 episodes, we moved out to California, right across the street here, and Jerry got something for being the inspiration behind Dukes of Hazzard, but they did not. It wasn't written down, you know, and it's my old agent at William Morris at the top of their stationery. I'll bet now at the top of their emails and the bottom, it still says, put it in writing. Put it in writing.
Well, even though
so we'll do that. We'll find some amazing people in Perry County and in Hazard, and we will find some great locations. We'll jump some cars. We'll jump the creek. We'll do all kinds. It's going to be fun.
And they've got the swinging bridges, and it's just so authentic. It'll be great. And I'm very proud of this because even though I haven't seen that many episodes, but I love Dukes of Hazzard. It's wonderful. It may have been 4, I don't remember, but 3 or 4.
Might have been 3.5.
But I'm going to watch. So I mean, we're going to be on the set, and you'll be creating it, and you're watching it now. But
I'll show you opening night at the Boar's Nest. That's the last episode, and I wrote and directed it. I hope that's not why it was the last episode.
Well, I'm sure it was wonderful. But I'm really proud of this because I was born in Perry County. So I grew up hearing about the Dukes of Hazzard because Hazard, Kentucky was the real Hazard. And I'm like, no, it's not in Georgia. It's Kentucky. And I would constantly have to tell people it's not real because Hazard, it was Georgia, right? You're supposed to be in Georgia?
When we went to the big city, we went to Atlanta.
Okay, so Georgia.
Yeah.
But I heard this my whole life. It's like, no, it's Hazard, Kentucky. There is no Hazard County. It's Hazard, Kentucky. It's a city.
That's Perry County. Yeah. So,
so
another
now
thing.
Coming full circle and John doing this, to me, that's just fun.
This is why she knocks over her drinks a lot. She talks with her hands. Now, where are you looking? Just out of curiosity, you should look at that camera. We have this guy right here.
I'm looking at you.
Well, when you're not looking at me, when you're looking at them, hi.
Hi.
You should look.
Where do you look?
That camera right
Where do you
there.
look?
I look into that camera over there.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know where I'm looking.
No, you're looking at us. See, there's a. It's hard not to look at yourself on television.
I totally look like Betty Boop when I do that. John says I look like Betty Boop.
I'm not the only one that says you look like Betty Boop.
I know, but because Betty Boop always looks up to the side, and that's exactly what I'm doing this whole show.
She
You're
does
right.
this. We went to, what's a great diner we went to?
Oh my gosh, Peggy Sue's.
Peggy Sue's diner.
Betty Boop was everywhere.
There she is. There she is. Betty Boop was everywhere. And okay, look off to your left. Just look off. You
Where
just
I was
don't have
looking.
your curls going.
Yeah. And then on Route 66, which we love, that's something we've gone back and forth at least a couple of times, I'm sure many more, because we don't like to fly. We're just not flyers. If we have to, we will. We flew here, we'll fly back, but we prefer being on the road. So Route 66 is something that we love, and Betty Boop is everywhere.
She is. Betty Boop is everywhere on Route 66.
I had no idea Route 66 was
Betty Boop land. I still want to take you to Oatman. Oatman is a great place in between Needles, California, and Kingman, Arizona, and it's on the really twisty part of Route 66, but couldn't take the motorhome there.
The best part about Peggy Sue's was John's picture was up. And John said, I think I've, and every once in a while I had that. And that was something was like for Paul Servino as well. We'd be places, and he's like, there's a picture of me up here somewhere.
Paul used to go to Peggy Sue's, right?
Yes.
Did you go to Peggy Sue's with Paul?
No.
Okay.
There's a mug. And I said, what's that? He goes, oh, this is a great place on Route 66. So I heard about it. And we now have that mug somewhere. We'll find it.
Great. And when we were coming here, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago, we were hungry, and we're saying, well, we're going to go to Barstow, we'll go wherever. And then I saw a sign. I said, oh, Peggy Sue's, let's go there. Mm-hmm. That's great. And she said, Paul loved Peggy Sue's. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of them watching over us and getting a real kick
on Route 66.
Getting a real kick out of not only this relationship but the similarities. Mm-hmm. And I think it's quite wonderful.
And we're sitting at the bar, and I was looking around the whole place.
I'm going to look. This is going to go off in a second.
And John's picture was right behind us the whole time. It was like the featured booth. John had the best picture placement in the whole.
Right. Well, I was looking for. We wandered around, and I was looking for the picture of me in the General Lee, in the bow outfit and all that. But it wasn't. It was a picture of me with the staff and all of the staff that was in that picture. And I probably took it 20 years ago.
But the one lady
they were
was
still there. No,
yeah,
a whole bunch of them were still there. So we took another picture.
That's great.
We took another picture to commemorate that I had been there so many years before, and they so appreciate that.
But so many great places on Route 66 and is it the Baghdad Cafe?
I was just going to look for this picture, but we're going to come back to that. Well, I want you to talk about, people want to know why you wear hats all the time.
Oh. Yeah, it's funny. People kind of get...
Look in the camera.
Oh, okay, here, hi. Yeah. Well, there were 3 cameras. If you all saw what I see, you would understand. I don't know where to look. Now I do. So I wear hats because I had skin cancer, and I had to kind of cut along my hairline, and I almost ended up like with a really weird bad haircut or shave, whatever it was. And I'm very fair complected. My eyes are very fair. I can hardly see in the sun, whatever. So I was sort of a life-saving thing after the skin cancer because I had to cut really deep. It was a little scary. So after that, I started wearing hats, and I started loving them. And I'd go to just these different stores. I've got some crazy hats, conservative hats or whatever. And it kind of became my thing that I'd wear a hat every day. But it started because I had skin cancer. And, you need to protect your skin and wear the sunscreen, but a hat is very helpful. So that's really why. And then I fell in love with hats. So everyone's like, why is she wearing a hat and sunglasses? Is she in witness protection? No, I love hats. But it did start with cancer, unfortunately.
Can you show them your head without your hat on?
Yeah, oh yeah. I just got a haircut, in fact. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, see, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks wonderful.
So I do have a normal head.
I wear hats all the time, too, just not quite as much.
I don't have antennae, so, how many hats?
How many do you have?
Oh, hundreds, maybe 1,000. I have so many hats. And John's like, you're going to go buy hats? Well, I have to have a different hat every day.
Put your number up there again. I want to send you 2 pictures, if you would. Okay, I think I can do it. Actually,
I love
just
hats,
sent them.
and it kind of adds your personality, and I just think it's good. But no, there's nothing wearing up here. I'm not my favorite Martian. I don't have anything crazy.
I love Ray Walston.
I do too. But it's like, why are you wearing hats every day? Because I love them. But it started to protect my skin from cancer.
Yep.
Because I didn't really want to get it again.
No. And I'm not I wear hats all the time. I wear hats on the golf course because we're out there so much. Wait a minute, I'm trying to send.
But you've got such beautiful hair.
I just sent you a text. Would you send it to Tony the Tiger?
Oh, okay.
Well, I have my grandfather's hair because he's not using it anymore. No, I'm kidding. I have my grandfather's hair, and I haven't done anything to it. I got a comment on our podcast week before last, and the person said, I like you so much better before. You need to clean up and shave and get a job. I mean, I think that's what they said. My goodness, people just say Art Linkletter had a show. Kids say the darndest things. Well, people
I get worse.
People on Facebook say very interesting things. But I find that YouTube is where they really are nasty. I love YouTube, but my goodness.
Well, someone said, why do you wear hats? What is your hair about? Yeah, my hair does suck. I just got it done, but usually it's not that great. Not all of us
Your
can
hair
be
is always, what are you
blessed
talking about?
with great hair like John Schneider. Your hair is beautiful. You've got the best hair in the world. But everyone always has an argument about, oh, do you want it short? Do you want it long? It's crazy. They love it. They hate it. You know, here's the thing. I
That's
like
ridiculous.
to wear fun things. I mean, yeah, everyone's...
You dress like, I tell you what, of all the people I've known in my life, this person to my right here dresses like her. Mm-hmm. You know, and sometimes she'll wear something. I'm going, well, there she is. That's Dee Dee.
Well, you know, in our wedding
and
party.
It's wonderful.
In our wedding celebration party, I had this big orange skirt. It looked like a tutu/can girl. And I love that skirt. It was fabulous. And it would take up this whole table. I thought it was the best thing in the world. And I'm like, you know what? I'm wearing it.
I do too.
And
you know what? 99% of the people thought the same thing. But 1%, if you're part of that 1%, just before
the
you
1% of the haters.
text or before you comment on it, just stop.
I mean,
stop.
Hey, if that's what you think, that's okay. I'm sorry. You can't please everybody.
I had a lot of people give me a lot of mess about my the golf shirt I have. It looks like paintball.
Everybody
People either
loves that
love
shirt.
it or hate it. And I tell you what,
I love
here's a
that
little
shirt.
here's a little advice from an older guy. If you're doing something, if you dress some way, or if you have an opinion, or if you are the kind of person that everybody just thinks is swell, and you do have the ability to bleep me out, right? Then you're full of shit. You're lying to somebody. This is what my dad taught me. My dad taught me, he said, if everybody agrees with you, you're not telling the truth. So be who you are, dress the way you dress, eat what you eat, drink what you drink, play with the golf clubs you want to play with, name your dog whatever you want to name your dog, and stop worrying about what other people think. If you spend your life worrying about what other people think, at the end of your life, you will wonder why you spend so much time trying to please people, and in this social media world, trying to please people you don't even know, people you've never met.
I'm very proud of you because you know what? You really don't care. You just say whatever you want. You're proud of it. Stand by it. No problem. And clearly, I'm not bothered by the statement because I'm still dressing that way. I am just creative. I like
Thank you.
Things. The hat.
Where
and
have you been?
And you know, I think it's fun and themes or whatever. I just think it's good. To be fun. But anyway,
some of the places we've gone, we go because it's gonna. This is not really freaky deaky, but I believe in this. You know, we do believe that Paul and Alicia are very aware of us. You know, I think they've got stuff to do. I don't think they're sitting there, you know, like the mother of a kindergartner waiting for Johnny to get home from school, and they're wondering what they're doing every day. But I do think that they're aware of us. They know when we hurt. They know when we laugh. They know when we smile. They know when we struggle, and they know when we succeed. So I do believe there is a connection between us and them with all of my heart and soul. So we do go occasionally to places. We were just in New Orleans. New Orleans is a place where they say, you know, some people say, oh, it's haunted. Other people say the veil is thin. You know, you feel things in New Orleans that you don't necessarily, and it might be a pickpocket, so be careful. But you feel things in New Orleans that you don't necessarily feel in other things. If you go there, I highly recommend you do the ghost tour. Okay, it's pretty darn cool.
Isn't there a graveyard tour?
There's a graveyard tour.
They don't call them graveyards because they're really not in the grave. They're crypts.
Well, but they are.
That's a different topic altogether. Let me tell you what they do is.
Yeah, they bury people, and I don't believe it has anything to do with they say, oh, we can't dig a hole because it'll fill with water. No, they bury people on top of each other. Look it up. So they kind of, anyway, it's a great tour. But that's also why, that's why we went to Sedona.
We went to Sedona, and you could, you know, talk about the energy. That's the big vortex. That's the energy vortex. Maybe, Tony, you know all about this.
Tony, yeah. You got to watch Tony's show. What is your show called? Truth Be Told.
You got to watch that. Of paranormal.
I'm paranormal, and she's not so normal.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we were there. And,
Thank you.
We could feel the energy, or I did. I think John did it too.
Yeah, and
it has a feel, it has a vibe to it that's really amazing and very powerful.
Yep, and we went to Monument Valley because I'm a big John Wayne fan. So we went to Monument Valley to see what was going on there, and she had never been to Monument Valley.
It was really amazing. Yeah, I had never been there.
Beautiful, beautiful place. And we went, I think we mentioned last week, yeah, there we go, there's Monument Valley. And by the way, I wear hats all the time, too.
You do.
That is my
every day. I wear them every day.
That's my hat from Stand On It and Poker Run.
Beautiful.
But it's important, I think, to go to places that are, if you don't believe in that stuff, it's okay. It doesn't matter. But when you go to places like that, the air is cleaner, it's fresh, it's crisp. The people are wonderful. Now, I'm very, very partial to people that you meet at an RV park. People who see our great country, who either own or who have rented a motorhome or a trailer or a camper, and they go out and they spend time in these great RV parks
and I want to thank
in Sedona
for introducing me to that, because I really didn't know that life.
You mean Paul Sorvino didn't travel around in a motorhome?
No.
No?
Definitely not. Not a bad thing, not a good thing. It just was not a Paul Sorvino thing.
That's funny.
He was first class, private jets, and no RV. But RVs are great. I've had a ball, because it really is a lifestyle that is amazing. And you can't see things from afar. You have to be right there with it, right there on it. The only problem is sometimes there's nowhere to park the RV. Sometimes there are bridges that are too low. I've learned these things. It's like, praying that it's like, 14 feet or whatever.
13.4.
13.4. So, yeah, we had a few close
Had to bring that
calls.
up.
And John hasn't done anything like that with me. He said before he went under a bridge and lost the air conditioner, but that hasn't happened with me.
I looked in the rearview mirror after I hit this thing. It was 12.7, and I was 13. I was 13.3. That's why 13.4 is important. So I looked and it said 12.7. I was like, oh, it was too late. I mean, I was going 30 miles an hour or whatever I was going downtown Nashville, and I heard like that. And I thought, oh my! But there's 3 air conditioners, so I heard.
But it's so much fun, and then the people come over. Remember that couple? And the guy
but this one, I looked in the rearview mirror.
No shoes, no shirt. Hey, how you doing? What's up?
Oh, he was funny.
It was sort of like Cousin Eddie, but it was okay. He was cute. He was sweet.
I looked in the rearview mirror, and Alicia was behind me, and she was picking up pieces of the air conditioner, throwing them in the back of the car, shaking her head, like, oh my gosh. But yeah, you meet wonderful people at these places, and also they're far. Most of I don't know if you can fly to Sedona or not. I don't think so. Maybe it's a small like a commuter plane or a prop plane you'd have to take into there. But there are places you can go with an RV that you can't go otherwise because the airports are just too far away. So yeah, you can fly to Albuquerque, and Albuquerque's on Route 66, but it's the outskirts of Albuquerque that are really, really cool. It's the area west of Albuquerque where you get those beautiful pink rocks and the half domes and all that kind of stuff. I also highly recommend going to our national parks. Our national park system is fantastic, and the people that run them went to the people that work there. They went to forestry school. We just met a wonderful gentleman. What a statesman he was when we went to the Petrified Forest. So we bought a year-long pass to all of our national parks. I think it was $70. So you can support your national parks, and you can go if you travel by car or by motorhome, or even motorcycle. A lot of people travel the country on motorcycles. I used to do that. You go to the national parks, and you can support your national park system, plus have just a wonderful, wonderful time, and be reminded of what an amazingly beautiful country we live in.
Unbelievable.
That's what you say all the time. You say, my gosh, this is just such a beautiful country.
It is. Every state just has their gems of things that's like, can you believe we have this? I mean, in other countries, they come here amazed.
Gosh, that's going fast.
We have a huge country, and there's so much to see. I mean, Oregon is beautiful.
Yep.
Seattle's beautiful, and then you go to
the Dakotas are beautiful.
The West, the Midwest. I love the Midwest.
Two Dot, Montana is beautiful.
Kentucky, the best part.
Right, Kentuckiana. Also, where did they shoot? Somewhere in time up there in Mackinac Island.
Yeah,
Mackinac Island is beautiful.
And then, of course, you've got the ocean. In Florida alone, both sides are totally different. And then you've got the Keys. One state alone is like
it's gorgeous.
8 countries.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Somebody asked, what are we like Academy Award wise? Are we into award shows? And now I know
Emmys
you and Paul were into all that because you have an Emmy. I've only seen one. And did Paul ever get an Academy Award? Did he get nominated for an Academy Award?
He was nominated for a Tony.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, for that championship season. Paul was a bona fide Broadway star. Yeah, but John was as well.
The show I was in was nominated before I got into the show, but that was Grand Hotel, and I think it won several Tonys. Tommy Tune's Grand Hotel. But
now, once you do Broadway again, I'd love to see that.
I didn't think so until we watched Singing in the Rain.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought,
that was so special.
I just love this. This is so great.
Yeah, we went to the Hollywood Bowl, and it was so magical that if you can ever go to the Hollywood Bowl, go, because it's just nothing like it.
Or if you can watch this thing, I think they do it in New York. I think they did it Kennedy Center. There's a couple different places where the orchestra, like Cincinnati Pops, or here the LA Philharmonic, the Boston Pops, they will play, or the Atlanta Symphony, they will play with a movie.
Paul did that.
So they removed
it.
That's right. Paul hosted The Godfather, right?
Yes. Alec Baldwin, your favorite guy, called Paul. Paul was friends with everybody.
I duck every time I hear that name.
I know. But he called Paul and he said, we'd love for you to host, if you would, the New York Philharmonic playing during The Godfather. So it was the same type of thing. And Paul hosted and he sang something and the crowd went wild, of course. That boss thing. That New York boss mafia thing.
I know, that's right.
So anyway, it's really a wonderful experience. And the Philharmonic, and just the music, it just moves you. I cried singing Rain. It's not a movie where you would cry, but I was so moved by the music and the atmosphere and the being with the man I love, and it was just great.
Wonderful experience. And the sound of a symphony. If you haven't been to a symphony, do it. So it's funny, we're talking about, did you get the pictures of the Baghdad Cafe? So we're talking about places on Route 66 like the Baghdad Cafe, which, by the way, there's a movie called The Baghdad Cafe, and it was
it's a French movie.
70s. It was done here, but the French really, really love it. Did you get the picture with us and the crew inside?
Oh, there we are.
There we are.
But they say people from France go there all the time, or folks that are French here in the country. That is a huge stop.
When we got there, there was a
French family,
father and mother and 2 children.
Oh la la, Dukes
French
of
family.
Hazard. Dukes of Hazard.
No. That's Chérie, fais-moi peur. Chérie, fais-moi peur.
Oh my
Sheriff,
gosh!
Make me scared. is what it's called in France.
They were so cute.
And when they were walking out, I said, pardon, and they said no English. They didn't speak English, and I said, ¿Cuántos años? Great. So I asked. In Spanish, I asked how old you are to a Frenchman, but he knew that. And I said, the Dukes of... I said, no, wait. Chérie, fais-moi peur. And he went,
oui.
And I said, he went, oh. So it was wonderful.
It was so funny.
Wonderful.
And they brought the little kids in. Oh, la bowl with Dukes
No, they
of
tried
Hazard.
to explain to the children. They're
oh
like,
my gosh.
Whatever, Dad. However you say whatever, Dad, in French, that's what they were saying. But the reason I'm mentioning this is that you don't have to be an RV person or an off-the-road Route 66 person or an LA Philharmonic person. You can be all of that. You should do everything you can. We talked about this in the last podcast, to expect great things every day and to choose joy. And how you choose joy is by experiencing new, amazing things. I never would have thought that Singing in the Rain would have moved me the way it did. I love Singing in the Rain. But like Dee Dee said, the combination of the movie and the actual LA Philharmonic playing that music was so moving, so wonderful. And this is only a couple of weeks after we met a French family at the Baghdad Cafe in Newberry Springs, California, population 14.
Yeah.
Maybe. There were more people in our row at Singing in the Rain than are in Newberry Springs. So it's up to you to, I think, it's up to you to experience life. Because again, I'm not going to dwell on it, but again, we know that life is short. We know that we're fragile. And we know that nobody at the end of their life ever looks at someone they love and says, damn it, I sure wish I worked more. No. Enjoy your life. Not that work is not fun.
You rarely regret what you do. Even if it's a mistake, you usually don't regret it. It's like, okay, it was an experience.
Yeah, it's a learning experience.
It's an experience, good or bad.
But
why not? Do
it. Go enjoy yourself. When we went to Sedona, we walked up
that was amazing.
This hill, and then we thought, well, we can go back to the motorhome, and are we going to call an Uber, or are we going to walk a mile to the restaurant?
We walked.
We decided to walk a mile to the restaurant, and on the way it started to rain. And I mean monsoon rain. And you have a choice there. You can either lament the fact that you are walking up this hill in one of the most beautiful places in the world and wish you were undercover, or you can go, this is great. It's raining, and we're walking to a restaurant. This is so much fun. And so we chose to have fun. We chose to make it fun.
And we also saw the Grand Canyon, a part of it, and we're in Williams, Arizona, which is such a great place.
And we took the train.
Old mining town. Oh, we took the train. Oh, my gosh.
We took the train.
The train, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That was so much fun.
So nobody planned this for us, and we didn't even plan this for us.
And
we got there, and it was like, okay, let's do it. Oh, and there was a shootout.
The midget guy
and there was what was his name?
Sawed-off Sam.
Sawed-off Sam.
And he was
great.
making all the little people jokes, so we were allowed to say that. He kind of told us we could.
And then after all that, after all that, we went to the local watering hole, and they're all in there, and we're
they were out in the street. They had another job. We said, hey, come on in. We bought them drinks. Oh, and then we did the pool tournament.
We played pool. We did a pool tournament.
I got through the first round, and they didn't believe it. They thought, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, and I don't. But, you get lucky sometimes. I got lucky, and boy, that guy was mad.
Well, they play by the real rules, and she kept getting in the way.
You gave me advice. They got mad.
Oh, that's right. They said, no talking.
No talking.
No talking. They take their pool very, very seriously.
Serious.
But this is life. This is what life is about. You should enjoy it.
Go for it. Go do it. Go do stuff.
Do something new.
It's right there. It's like we joined the pool tournament. It's like, well, let's go ahead and try it. We do that all the time. It's almost always a yes, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing you've not given me a yes to 2 or 3 times is bowling. And I just think it's because it hasn't been the right time or whatever. Not that you're against bowling, but I say, hey, let's go bowling. I don't know. We don't have time. I'm tired or whatever. But that's something on the bucket
list. Next time we come back here, the Roosevelt Hotel has a bowling alley upstairs.
That's right. They do.
We should do that. We should try it. I think it'd be great fun. So the point here is that it's up to you.
4 minutes.
Look, I got it right here. It's up to you, right? You can decide every day that you're going to do something new. I just wrote a line of dialogue in the Earls of Perry that says, you're never going to get any better if you keep making the same old mistakes. You have to start making some new mistakes. So, and then you have to look at a mistake rather than, oh, damn it, I made a mistake. It's like, what did I learn from that mistake? What can I do better next time? But I guarantee you, if you don't get out and try something new, you're not going to have fun. Maybe you'll be okay and kind of even keel. But I don't know about you. I'm not about even keel. I want today to be better than yesterday. I want to have more fun today. I want to risk laughing more today than I did yesterday.
And you're not flattening the hills or straightening the curves. You like the curves and the hills. Did I say it right?
You did. It was backwards, but you said it. You got it right. I had to think about it. But wait a minute. Yes, I am.
You are?
I mean, I still drive kind of fast sometimes.
Oh, you do. You're a great driver.
I do.
And in the golf cart, too. I'm like, we're going to die. We're going to die. The golf cart's going to tip over.
Sometimes
got
golf
stuck
carts
in mud once, and this poor guy's trying to push it out. And the end of he all mud. It was bad. But, John drives everything like that. Remember the yellow car?
I do. I remember the yellow car.
Yeah, you were driving that really fast. And the motorhome, too. He drives that fast, too.
Well, that kind of sneaks up on you.
And then we used 6 batteries. And the batteries fall out. He drove so fast over a bump.
And somebody from Pacoima said...
dragging. But now we've got a new motorhome.
So something that has been happening that's really great, I have to do the lightning round on this.
Okay.
Did a movie called To Die For. To Die For is about our glorious flag and about a gentleman who's a Marine who refused to take the flag off the back of his El Camino. And he goes to court and all kinds of things happen. And I made that movie 2 years ago, a little more than 2 years ago. And it was very timely then. Well, since then, we had a wonderful young man that we spent some time with named Cameron Blasek and
From
his
Indiana.
family from Indiana, who got in trouble because he had the flag on the back of his truck at school. So he took the flag off the truck and had the truck wrapped in an American flag. Way to go, Cameron. But then just recently, this wonderful guy, Caleb Horst, in Oklahoma, same thing. He got in trouble for flying the American flag from the back of his truck, and he refused to take it down. The whole community joined with him, and after about 3 days after he was reprimanded and said, you have to take this off, it was like 90% of the people in town had flags on the back of their vehicles.
And John sent him a message on Facebook, and then the Daily Mail, even all the way in England, they were talking about how John was encouraging this kid, and and John didn't even mention to die for, even though it was some more.
No, it wasn't about that.
To go to the kid, of course, to Caleb, and it did, and it was wonderful.
So enjoy your country, celebrate your country, have a great day today, have a better day tomorrow. They said that on Smoking the Bandit. Hey, Bandit, have a good day today and a better day tomorrow, and live by that. All right. Send us some ideas about what we should talk about, and we'll do it next time. Where are you going? Aw.
I missed you.
Thank you. You missed me. You're right there.
I know, but I wanted to.
You all take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And maybe I'll wear a hat next week.
Okay?
I know you will. All right. We'll see you. Band. Hit it, band.